Hello, Steve White, Triple 89 for Steve That's 89. Well, I just watched the 5th episode of Star Trek Prodigy, Firma. I think it should be called Protostar because we actually find out what the ship is named for in this episode, which is probably the most interesting part of the episode. Now, the episode continues on from last week, which I was a bit weary of because when we were getting towards the end of the episode last week, I was thinking it was just a one-off adventure. And then when they were stuck on the planet, I'm like, oh, don't tell me it's going to be some thing where they're stuck on this planet and it's going to be like a long-form storytelling like Discovery or Picard, and we sort of take episodes and episodes to deal with this problem and we don't sort of get to have a new adventure each week. So I was a little bit disappointed by that, and I was hoping that this week would be the conclusion of this adventure, and it was, so I was pretty happy about that. Basically, the Protostar has crashed safely, and Janeway is trying to manage that and giving them a beacon to follow, directions and coordinates and everything. They are about 10 kilometres away. Gwen has broken her leg, but she uses her magic device thing to basically create a brace for her because they were pretty much going to leave her because of what she did. So, she's still the enemy on some level to them. They start walking back through this environment, and we sort of realise fairly quickly that the planet is sentient, it's alive, and it's like a cross between the KG planet from the Gold Key comics and the Shoreleave planet, where it makes people's dreams come true, or then now their nightmares, because as they're heading into night, they're starting to see scarier things and not necessarily things that they're wanting to see. They get attacked by a giant, by basically the warp core in sort of covered in vines, which is walking around, and Gwen hits it with fire and saves them. She catches part of the forest on fire and they have to jump off a hill basically, but she saves them, so that gives her some goodwill from them now after all that. But they've got a little bit of a problem because the planet is alive and terraforming, and the mountains that they're heading for keep moving. So it's like, whoa, 10 kilometres away, and then they're almost there, and then basically the ground environment shifts and now the hills are on the other side of them. But eventually they find a crashed Klingon vertebrae and they camp out in that for the night, and they have a chat, and they realise when they're talking about stars and space and so forth that they can use the stars to find the ship. So they head back towards the ship, and Gwen's father has found them because she sent them the coordinates, so he's coming for them. He shows up, and Gwen is being attacked by vines at that time, and he basically has to choose between saving her or stopping the ship from being crushed by the vines or pulled off the mountain or whatever by the vines. So he chooses the ship over her, which of course is heartbreaking for her, but not a surprise to us. And he approaches the ship, but unfortunately for him, it's an illusion. It's what he dreamed of, what he wanted. So it's just a bunch of vines in real life, and they start attacking him. And now we come to the worst part of the episode, because Janeway is trying to sort out the ship, and the crew come back, they get on, and instead of beaming Gwen onto the ship, they hover over her and they hang out of the cargo bay and hang a rope down and hang off the rope and pull her up out of the vines. And it's totally not Star Trek. It's ridiculous. And it's part of the issue I have with the show. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not as kiddie. It looks like it's going to be more episode of the week, planet of the week, adventure. It's beautiful to look at. The characters are okay. They are immature, but the storytelling isn't, so it's fine. But we have these moments, and there's an element of trying to be like Star Wars, and you can tell with the villains and a lot of the I don't want to say the cinematography, a lot of the design is very Star Wars and very like Rebels and Clone Wars, and like the villains look like the henchman looks like he's straight out of the prequel trilogy. So I'm a bit about that. But aside from that really stupid moment where they all hang off a rope out of the cargo bay rather than just beaming her up, the rest of the episode is okay. They leave and they're being pursued by Gwen's father, of course. His ship is huge. It plays a bit like the scene Into Darkness. But then they realise what the Protostar is, because while Janeway was trying to sort things out on the ship, she did detect that there was a power drain from the gravimetric Protostar containment field. And they realise that the engine is a Protostar being contained, and they're using the energy, I guess, kind of like the Romulan warp drives, which use a singularity, I think. I can't remember what they use now. I think it was the Star. But it's very dangerous. So the dad hails them, and she confronts him, and he acts like, oh, I'm glad you're alive, I had no choice. And she's like, you chose the ship over me. And she finally makes a smart decision and makes the right decision and decides to go to warp and stop following his orders, and I guess to become part of that crew. And they do show signs of sort of accepting her and acknowledging what she's going through with the father and that. And yep, they engage the Protostar warp drive, and they are gone. They are off the radar. They can't track them, and that's the end of the episode. So it looks like we're going to get them in another environment in the next episode, when we eventually get the next episode. Because apparently, originally I thought there was 10 episodes, but I'm hearing there's 20. So we've had 5 episodes, and now we're going to have a hiatus, and they're going to focus on Discovery, at least in North America and Canada. And the rest of the world will basically probably see the 6th episode of Prodigy before they see an episode of Discovery. But we've already talked about that. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. It's not as kiddie as I thought. Even though it doesn't feel at all like Star Trek, it feels more like Star Wars. It didn't pretend to be Star Trek, so I guess that's why I'm giving it the I don't know. I'm giving it a chance because, like I said, there's no bait and switch. It wasn't pretending to be anything. It wasn't. We always knew it was going to be a bunch of kids on a starship, and it wasn't going to be run like, a Federation ship, and it wasn't going to be like a conventional Star Trek series. But it's more like Star Trek than I thought it was going to be, even though it is still a lot like Star Wars. So I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm wondering where they're going to go. I'm wondering where they're going to be. Are they going to be in another quadrant, another universe, another dimension? Like, what does this Protostar warp drive do? Does it just make them go extra fast so they're just out of sensor range? Or is it more complicated than that, more interesting than that? Who knows? I thought they didn't have a lot of room to tell stories. We're already up to 5 episodes because I thought they had 10. But now they've got a whole another 10 to work with. We could have some interesting environments because maybe they're away from her father for a long time. Maybe it's not all just cat and mouse every episode. Maybe they actually have some stories and adventures far away from them before at some point they have to deal with them again. But I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm giving it a chance. I'm enjoying it. And aside from that incredibly stupid moment where they hung them out of the cargo bay on a rope, the rest of the show is good so far. So I'm just going to leave it there. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I probably should see if Discovery's up, but I'm really no rush to watch it. I might even wait for Paramount Plus to have it, because we've got Paramount Plus in Australia, but we don't have Discovery. I don't think we'll be getting it till next year. It must be something to do with the Netflix rights and everything. But yep, I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.